Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
They say after the storm is the calm, but it's not looking calm in Manchester at this point in time. And come on, like I said yesterday, I gave you an update about the game between MK Dons and Manchester United in 2014, and that was under Louis van Gaal the last time they played round 2 of the Carabao Cup. And at this point in time, it's the same story we are getting this wonderful morning that Manchester United have been knocked out of the Carabao Cup round 2 against a 4th division side, Greenspeed Town. And trust me, it's not looking too good for Ruben Amorim and his boys at this point in time. And this morning, that's going to be at the discussion extensively right here on Dominion Sport. Once again, let me welcome you to another exciting edition of Dominion Sport right here on Dominion Television, where we give you all things sport. I am Abe Paul Toluwanimi. This morning with me is the man that says unbiased analysis is what he can give to you on the show. I have Samson Balogo with me this wonderful morning. Also, we're going to be joined by 2 expert analysts on the show this morning. Also, Olushola Victor and Christina will be joining us this morning on the show via Zoom. So it's going to be an extensive talk, in Manchester United on the way forward. Samson, good morning to you.
Well, good morning to you, Toluwanimi. It's really nice to be here again to talk sports, even though we'll talk about things that really will not go down well with Manchester United. But unfortunately, that's what we have on the table. Yeah. And we'll look at it holistically and see where exactly the problems are coming from. Right. And, way forward for Manchester United. So, well, it was really, a disheartening moment. Yeah. It was sardonic. It was just a whole lot of things for Manchester United fans yesterday. judging by the fact that, you know, we said it was most likely going to end up that way, and it did. You know, at this point, Man United is not, I don't think they are ready. And there's too much gap between, you know, the management, the coaching crew, the players, and even the fans. I mean, there's a lot going on, and I know that I will dissect it before the end of the show, yeah.
All right. Already we're going to dissect it at this point in time because that's the talking point this wonderful morning, and it's going to be on Manchester United, and questions have been asked. You know, is it Ruben Amorim's fault? You know, is it the players are not playing to standard? You know, you said yesterday about Cristiano Ronaldo speaking about you know, how Manchester United has fallen off the park. You know, when it comes to the facility, and this season there's a change in facility already. A rebuilding, reconstruction, wonderful facility at this point in time. But let me confirm: do we have Olusola Victor and Christiana on the Zoom already? Are they active on the Zoom at this point in time? So let me just confirm that so that we can have the conversations together. All right, something for you, Manchester United. Let's not take anything away from the 4th division side. You know, if we look at their start, yes, honestly speaking, the last 6 games, they are unbeaten. The last 6 games, actually. Also, you look at you know, how far they have gone with set pieces displayed, you know, in their season right there, and you wonder, Manchester United. Look at the calibers of player. You know, they signed, you know, this season almost 200 million plus. You know, signing, you know, Benjamin Sesko, Matheus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, players who have done fantastic, you know, on the club side before joining Manchester United. I asked the question, you know, who is at fault? Is it Ruben Amorim or the players not playing to the standard of Manchester United?
You know, the truth of the matter is, when you look at, you know, Manchester United's recruitment this season, you would expect, you know, the team to actually, you know, hit the ground running, judging by the fact that they signed players with Premier League experience. You mentioned Brian Mbeumo, you mentioned Cunha, and also Sesko, yes, is just coming into the EPL. So he might likely not have the Premier League experience, but then there are 2 major players that have been in the EPL before now, and they know exactly what it means to play in the EPL, and of course play for Manchester United. So you would expect that, you know, they would walk into the team and then hit the ground running. But it's not looking like that at this time. And so many people would want to pin the blame on, you know, Coach Ruben Amorim. I want to say it's not because he doesn't know what he's doing, because what he did at Sporting is no fluke. He achieved it because he knows exactly what it means to be a football coach. And at this time, if he cannot replicate that as Manchester United, then it's a problem. That means
it's a problem for who? Because you know, now
a bulk of this problem,
yes,
lies on the table of the fans, because they bear the brunt of what is happening, because they don't enjoy paying to see Manchester United play. So it's a problem for the football fans. But then, you know, a certain percentage of the blame goes to the management. And then the question is, what exactly are you doing? I mean, people will question their recruitment strategy, saying, "Oh, do you have you know, a recruitment strategy that works for the team?" People ask questions about you know, what exactly is the plan for the team? You know, when you are coming on board, aside from one of the plans for the team includes your recruitment strategy. Oh, we want to get this kind of player that suits, you know, how we play. I think I mentioned something a few days ago that, you know, Manchester United is a traditional team that plays on the wing. And going down history lane, you would mention about 4, 5, 6, you know, top-class wingers that passed through Manchester United. So David Beckham was once, you know, a Manchester United player, played on the wing. They had Cristiano Ronaldo. They had Luis Nani. At the point, Ashley Young was there. These are players that understood what it means to get the ball from the wing down to the penalty box. And of course, that will be in swinging crosses. But at this time, if you look at that Manchester United team, do they still have that as their tradition? So that means they are one way or the other erasing, you know, what we call the Manchester United tradition.
Okay, so hold on now. You can talk about tradition. That is tradition of the club. Now, a coach is coming with a different system, saying this has worked for me. in recent times with Sporting. You look at what he has achieved with the club right there. And not that this formation is a new formation to teams. Actually, you see Nottingham Forest use this formation. You see other teams use formation, and they're successful with this formation. I can understand the tradition of playing on the wing, this or that. At the end of the day, when you look at it, you look at the system is not favoring Manchester United at this point in time, because you don't have such wingers that you mentioned, Cristiano Ronaldo, Nani, such players again are doing fantastic. In these days, you look at wingers, you wonder, is this actually a winger? You can't take on 2-3 defenders. The next thing you do, once you get to the bar line, you go back again to pass. So come on, so that tradition is not even working again. But my question now is that, is the problem now the formation that's not working with Manchester United, or the players cannot just work with the rhythm of the coach at this point in time? Because there's so many questions that's going on. I'm also going to ask you if Ruben Amorim should be sacked or should he just resign. But before that, the question I just asked.
Yeah, I think some of the points you failed to add is the fact that there are so many things affecting Manchester United, and that includes lack of cohesion and direction of the team. You see how they play, you don't really think they really know what they want for themselves on the field of play. So I don't see them playing as a team. So where oftentimes you see flashes of brilliance from certain players. Last season it was Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. The beginning of this season, you have seen Konya, being the focal point of everything that happens on the field of play. Sometimes Mason Mount has been, has shown a little bit of brilliance. Brandon Mbeumo was sharp on the wing. Even Adama was also, very good on the wings. So these are players doing their thing individually, not as a team. Because if you are doing it as a team, Manchester United will not be shy in front of goal at this time. I mean, they will be converting chances. It's not like they are not creating chances, but are they converting enough chances? Also, there are off-pitch factors too that involves ownership and restructuring. These things too, whether you like it or not, it trickles down to the team, trickles down to the players too. Because when the team is not stable at the top, it becomes a problem for the players, on the field of play. And, when you look at some players that were going to be mainstay in that team, key players that are underperforming, that is when you talk about players like Garnacho, that at this point is about to be shipped out of the team. You talk about Manuel Ugarte, you can't really say if he's doing enough. You have a player like Casemiro still in that team. You can't really say what exactly he's still doing in the team. And so many other players. A defender like Diogo Dalot, for example, oftentimes people have questioned the fact that he's not giving his best in the team. But it's beyond just one person. Football is a team game. And if just a handful of players are doing the right thing, what will happen to the team when the other players are not doing what they are meant to do? Take, for example, no matter how many goals you score, if you continue to leak goals, it becomes a problem. Because you are never going to win a game when you leak as much as you concede, as much as you score. So now, Onana, people ask questions about Onana. Come on. In the beginning of the season, why is Onana not in the starting 11? And Onana showed you yesterday why he's not in the starting 11. I mean, why would you leave the ball and catch someone else's head? I mean, it can be annoying sometimes. Actually. But that for me, that's not the hallmark of a professional goalkeeper. In such situation, a goalkeeper like Peter Cech would rather punch with one hand, get the ball out of the box first before thinking of shining. But then he wants to, do the professional, let me just catch the ball, and then I lie down.
And I set again for the players.
Come beyond that.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, it saddens me sometimes when we talk about the archaic idea of playing football, and I still find some African players being at the center of the storm. And Onana is one of them. I mean, you saw what Benjamin Mendy did when he was at Chelsea. Yeah. Fantastic goalkeeper. Rarely makes mistakes, and when he does make mistakes, he makes up for it by making fantastic saves in the game. What I'm saying is, if he makes a mistake, I mean, I'm talking about Mendy. You would see one mistake will be replaced by about 4, 5, 6 top class saves in that game. But how many saves does Onana have in a game that will still concede such kind of ridiculous goals? So he's going to the bench. That's what the coach will decide. Oh, I've shown you why he doesn't have to be in my first team. But then will Bayern be the perfect replacement?
Replacement again.
That's another question. So that's why I talked about transfer strategy. Are you recruiting the players you truly need? Or you are buying because, it's also team is trying to buy a certain player, so let's hijack
this deal from that person, or maybe because the player, maybe because the player scored maybe 13, 19 goals in the season. Is that the player you need for yourself, or they can suit that system?
You look at your team. You look at your team. We play this kind of
formation. Yes.
If this player comes in, will he play? Can Arsenal went for Eberechi.
Yeah.
They know that at this point they need Eberechi, and because he's the kind of player that plays on the ground, Arsenal plays on the ground. He's the kind of player that loves to assist, create chances. Arsenal needs players that will create chances for their newly gotten, forwards. So these are the things you should look at. I'm not glorifying Arsenal's recruitment strategy. I'm just saying that when you are recruiting as a team, you know what you want. Look at Chelsea, for example. Last season, they had a striker who wasn't doing too fine, and they felt like, there was a striker that did well at Ipswich. Let's get him. Let's get Joao Pedro. There are two different strikers. Joao Pedro is more of a silky kind of forward, can play anywhere on the front line, and of course, Liam Delap is a kind of out and out number 9. So there are two different things. So if the coach wants to play a team and realizes the fact that the way they set up their back line, I think I would need to play an out number 9. Then Liam Delap will fit in. And if I need to play a player that can be silky, can dodge defenders, play on the wing, and then by the time he returns, they totally forgot about it and he's going to get the goal, then you put a Joao Pedro there. That's how you recruit as a team. Once again, I'm not justifying Chelsea's recruitment. I'm just saying that when you have to be careful about recruitment. Now, Manchester United have, for the last 3 or 4 years, you realize the fact that the kind of players they have been buying or promoting into the team, eventually they get shipped out. Now, Holland is about to be farmed out of the team. Why? Because he was recruited, and then they don't think he deserves to be in that team, or he can play the kind of method they play the team as we speak. Not just Holland, Manuel Ugarte is there now, and someone is already advising Manchester United to get a new defensive midfielder. Whereas Casemiro is still in that team. Bruno Fernandes is there. He has been the creative fulcrum in the team. And then someone said, let's buy Cunha, bring Cunha into the team. Whereas Mason Mount is still in the team.
And also there's a Kobe Mino also.
Kobe Mino is
having the transfer saga saying, he doesn't fit into the system, doesn't know if it's going to...
So the team is not settled. The team is not settled. And it's not just about the coach. It's not just about the players. Even at the top level, the team is not settled. So it's a problem. And when Cristiano Ronaldo came out to say, look, these are the problems Manchester United, is facing. And this is how I left the team. I made it worse than I left it. I mean, he was expecting Manchester United as a team to have evolved. But unfortunately, when he came back, he made the team worse than he left it. So, the challenge now is, will it be better if Ruben Amorim leaves the team? Because there's no way. There's no way you sack 35 players because of one coach.
Okay, so I was about coming to you saying that now because, coaches are the ones getting the blame for it. Now, we're talking about yesterday saying, you said this is not the MPFL where you ship out 22 players from a squad list.
For one coach.
And if it was that system, I'm sure you as a coach would say, I don't want this player. Can we ship out 6, 7 of these Manchester United players for my team? I don't want them playing in my team anymore. But it's not done like that.
Over there they respect contracts.
Yes, they respect
so
contracts.
You have a contract.
So you have a contract. We must respect that. And if you want me out of the team, then you must pay me all my whatever it is that we have signed on the table. But now the question is, now Ruben Amorim, you just made a statement saying, is it best for him to resign? Or, what do you think needs to be done going forward for Manchester United at this point in time? What is the best solution? Should Ruben Amorim be sacked? Should he resign? Or what do you think needs to be done going forward for Manchester United to change back and bring back the glory days of Manchester United?
At this time, I think all that will be on Ruben Amorim's head is that he's also contemplating, should I leave or should I stay? Can I turn things around?
Yes,
Can I get better results going
remember I said this earlier the season.
There is no calm in sight for Ruben Amorim as you speak, because when you look at how they play, I mean, you can't be so poor against a lowly team like Grimsby and expect to defeat a team like Chelsea in the EPL. So it's a problem. It's a disaster that is still waiting to happen, because when you look at the current situation now, you might just likely think, they are going to give him maybe 5-10 games ultimatum to turn things around. But then Manchester United is not a team like Nottingham Forest. Manchester United, even Nottingham Forest are not, you know, they are not waiting to give the coach the chance. They are already telling him, look, you have to turn things around.
Actually, you have to turn things around quickly.
And then Manchester United is not Aston Villa. They are not. This is not a new project. Manchester United is an existing project. You only come to complement what is on ground. And then if you look at Man United for the last 6 years ago, you realize the fact that they have changed too many managers. During that same era, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came on board. Michael Carrick was there. I think Jose Mourinho was at Manchester United at the point. Most of them spent relatively maybe a year, 2 years, and they were gone. Now, if you are going to, and for the first time in Manchester United's history, let me say in the last 30 to 40 years, they are having it rough when it comes to securing a long-term manager. And why is that happening? Because, as I said earlier, the structure is shaky from the top. Nobody is willing to embark on a long-term project anymore. They want instant results. And for every team that wants instant results, be ready to hire and fire coaches. And that is exactly what the problem is now. Now, my own take from Ruben Amorim is the best thing for him to do is to walk away when he can still do it. Now, it's not a good thing for him to be fired as a coach because that will be the last result. And that is most likely going to happen. Because Manchester United believe, see, why some teams recruit heavily when the transfer window opens. Look at what Manchester United has spent on players this season already. That is hundreds of millions of pounds or dollars, regardless of how you want to put it. Now, you can't recruit that much with the kind of players you already have in the team and still be fighting for relegation. It's not done anywhere. So the decision now lies with the management at Manchester United. Is there any coach in sight that will come on board and turn things around and turn the tide? The problem now is, do these players really want to play for Amorim? It's a question. Do they want to play for him? Are they tired of Ruben Amorim? Don't forget that it happens when players are tired of a particular coach. You know, they protest by performance on the field of play. You just see them. Probably Konya is running here and there. Will they convert that chance they have created? No, they won't. They know how to systematically discipline the coach when on the field of play. That is the professional gimmick players actually use. And at this time, I think, even in the team, okay, let's say, for example, the last 2 games they have played, you know, since the beginning of the new season, you realize the fact that only a handful of players, especially the newest ones, are doing so much. And the captain, which is Harry Maguire, they have been the ones so dedicated. There are no more than 6 or 7 players that have been so dedicated to the Manchester United cause. The rest, they know that if any coach comes today, they are still going to fit into the starting 11. Most likely, they will not play all the games, but at least one week in, week out, they will get, you know, a shift in the team. So the problem is, Ruben Amorim should look into the team. Who are these players that really do not want to have anything to do with me? I think it is time to call a crisis meeting at Manchester United. Are you serious now? Yes. Are you serious? It is time to call a crisis meeting. A crisis meeting, because this is crisis. If they finished below expectation last season, around 13th or thereabouts, and then start the new season on the wrong foot, then you know that they are on the wrong trajectory. And what will happen after? See, give him 10 games. I'm not sure he's going to turn things around.
But actually, if you look at Ruben Amorim this last season, he did something fantastic with the big teams. You know, Manchester City, you know, Chelsea. But the lower teams, he struggled with them.
That is why you realize the fact that it's a problem. It's a crisis within Manchester United. Most players, when they are playing against the coach and the same team, what they do is they play for pride. They will play for pride. So when they play against big teams, you see them shine. Let them play against lower teams, you see them relax. So, and that's the problem. That's my own opinion. I think some players are playing against the coach. And unfortunately, he tried to send away a few of the players, but was he able to achieve what he wanted to achieve by sending away those players that actually, you know, don't want him in the team? I don't think so. Because for a Marcus Rashford, there are 2, 3 or 4 players that are loyal to him. They are his friends. For a Jadon Sancho, there are 2, 3 players that are in his caucus. So for what's his name, about to move to Chelsea, Garnacho, there's 1 or 2 players, you know, who feel like, he's being maltreated. So all this blame goes back to the coach. So whether you like it or not, there are some players that will play against the coach and they are still in the same team. And you don't have a choice to put them in the starting 11 because on paper, they are arguably the best players you have in your team.
Amazing. Come on, if we keep talking about Manchester United on and on, I'm sure we're going to spend time on the show. I'll still have more stories, but this is a sad picture, being displayed on the screen. Yes, the 4th division side, the Crispin Town eliminated Manchester United from the Carabao Cup. You see more images being displayed on the screen for you, and that's to show you how far Manchester United have gone this season. They went on penalty shootout, and Brian Mbeumo, yes, missed from the spot, and that gave Crispin Town the edge for the round 2. Also, before the show, we're going to give you, the round 3 results. For the coming fixtures for the Carabao Cup this season. More and more stories are still popping up, right? Still displayed on the screen. Harry Maguire had to scrap, from the late time to get the goal right there to get them through to the penalty shootout, which they eventually, had to lose against Crispin Town on penalty shootout. Moving away from that, let's take the local stories this wonderful morning. Where the Niger Tornadoes picked up the much needed victory on their home turf. Right there is all 3 points for Niger Tornadoes. They played Nasarawa United right there, and they picked up all victory on their home turf yesterday. That's done with the match they won. If you can have the result being displayed on the screen about now, the result, yes, the Niger Tornadoes against Nasarawa United at Rashidi Yekini Main Ball Stadium in Ilorin. That game ended 1-0. That's the match day result ending in the NPFL. Till we pick up again tomorrow to give you the fixtures coming thick and faster right there in the NPFL. Now, this is a story coming through from the newly promoted side, Kun Khalifat, and this is not looking too good at this point in time for Kun Khalifat, because the story is really when I saw it yesterday, I had to message you immediately saying, come on, what's happening? Where are we? Where are we at this point in time? Where are we? And now the story is that Kun Khalifat are asking for urgent support. Now, remember, they're newly promoted. If you can have Kun Khalifat displayed on the screen, they're newly promoted side in the NPF, and at this point in time, they're asking for maximum support. For you, before I read out the statement coming from the office of the CEO, before I do that, when you saw the report yesterday, how disappointed were you?
I would say Nigerian teams, they don't fail to surprise and sometimes disappoint, Nigerians with, some things you get from them. And when I saw the report yesterday, I was sad, but I was actually laughing because it's laughable.
It's laughable, actually, to be honest.
Are you telling me, as the chairman of the team, as the coach, board of sporting director, everyone on the board of directors, are you saying you don't know what it takes to actually execute an NPFL season before you took the ticket? I mean, there are some teams which we spoke about here that actually sold their own ticket. They knew that we don't have what it takes to actually be in the league, and they sold the ticket, and then we are not having this kind of issue. You knew you were capable to do it, and then after one game of the season, you are saying you need. So you are not even. Let's say if you have played 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games, and we no longer have enough. The question is, do they get takings at Kun Khalifat? That's one problem. If you get, I think over the weekend there was an announcement by Shooting Stars that they made 4.8 million naira for the first time in the history of Shooting Stars. That the management are coming out to say over the weekend we made so amount of money from gate takings alone. So what happened to what they took over the weekend? So is that not part of revenue, or someone is somewhere just spending the money? That's the question we should ask. You must have been prepared. That's why we talk about sponsorship. This should not be coming from a private establishment.
It should
if a state-owned team is saying, the government has not actually reimbursed us, so we don't have enough to execute the season, it's still understandable. But not from a private team. You knew what you were going into, and you dabbled into it. So we should not be hearing this at this time. I think it is really disastrous. I just want to believe that they are playing politics with what is going on. They just want the support of some people. Probably they reached out to them, and then they were still giving them, more or less like a note to actually hang on. We'll get back to you, especially from the Imo State government. And then they felt like, let's just put something out there so that they will know what exactly we are facing. But the truth of the matter is, the state government do not owe you a dime. You know what you were going into before you actually, decided to pursue an NPFL season. That is one. Two, nobody owes you anything out there unless you have what it takes to get it from them. And that is true marketing. So if you don't have a strong marketing team that will get you money from sponsors. I mean, yesterday they announced a deal with a sponsor.
Yes.
So where's the money going to?
Where's the money going to? And all of a sudden, we are getting the report that, come on.
I mean, we were talking, and you said they posted that of the sponsor.
Yes, of the sponsor.
And just after that, they were asking people for money. I mean, it's not done anywhere.
Yes, Mr. Michael Chukudi Amiefula, the CEO of Kun Khalifat FC of Owerri, the pride of Imo, state on behalf of the management, staff, and players of the club wish to make a public statement. Yes, I just want whatever it is. Yes, let's have it displayed on the screen. Thank you. Yes, they're saying on behalf of the management staff, we are regarding our participation in the upcoming matches in the Nigeria Premier Football League, NPFL. Yes, sir. If for any reason we are unable to honor a match or matches going forward, it is not due to lack of desire or commitment to the game. Rather, it is because of circumstances beyond our control. We have achieved remarkable milestones in the past, rising from the NLO to NNL single-handedly and through our team collective effort. However, we have come to realize that competing in the Nigeria Premier Football League is difficult and it's a different challenge altogether. The financial demands and the logistical requirements are substantial, and the cost of participating in the Premier League for the season is close to 1 billion naira. This is a burden that is proving too great for us to bear, and at this point in time is looking too heavy for them to bear alone. We are eager to continue representing Imo State with pride and resilience, but we require assistance to do so. We are not putting out this statement out of cowardness, but out of the sense of duty and responsibility to our fans and the Imolite at large. We are not asking for help out of fear and lack of determination, but rather to ensure that the Imolite continue to enjoy the thrills of watching us play in the Nigeria Professional Football League as we aspire to soar to greater heights. We are reaching out and we humbly appeal to our fans and supporters and well-wishers that the Imo State government, corporate bodies, good-spirited individuals, and the honestly speaking, man,
it's the third time EFCC started investigating NPFL teams because do you know that in advanced countries where football is sport is really a business, even as the owner of the team, you do not have any right to dip your hand into the pocket of the team and take whatever you like.
Honestly speaking.
So, I think it is being run like, a spare parts shop in Indonesia, where you can do what you like.
You can do what you like, you come out and drop a press statement asking for funds.
This is not a spare part market. This is not a spare part shop, and someone somewhere should just talk to the chairman. You should probably take down that statement.
Honestly,
and it's uncalled for. It's uncalled for. I mean, for example, do they even have records of how much they have made, how much they have spent? Whoever told you that you are going to execute an NPFL season with 1 billion naira, I mean, that's fraud. Where exactly are you going? Are you playing on the continent? Even if you are playing on the continent, even if you are playing on the continent, I don't see a reason why you spend so much. I mean, where are you going? Is it not Nigeria? You are taking 30, maybe at most 35 people, 22 players, 5 technical crew, maybe some other, curators and the like. At most 35 players on the flight. And how many of your games are you traveling to on flight? That's the question. And how much do you buy fuel to execute these games? If you investigate how much these players at Kun Khalifat earns, you understand the fact that it's not like they are paying them that much.
They might not even have a player for 500,000 naira.
This is turning to fraud.
No, this is it's
about stylishly trying to corner people and con them. He's becoming a con artist.
Honestly speaking, because you ask the question, you're already promoted to this side. So what measures have you taken, to execute all this issue? Because you're going to travel. So are you saying you don't even have a bus to travel for away games? Is that what you're saying at this point in time?
Teams that qualified for the NPFL.
Yes.
they decided not to come to the NPFL
because they don't have the capacity.
They do not have the capacity.
Yes, so why?
You took up the responsibility to be in the NPFL. You got all the attention that you want, and then you are saying you don't have money. I mean, if you had waited for 5, 6, 7, 10 games, maybe mid-season, and they say, oh, we no longer have the resources, I would understand. But then, just one game.
Just one game.
And that game was played at home. I mean, what's this for crying out loud? This is ridiculous.
Honestly.
This is ridiculous. I think it should be sanctioned by the chairman of the NPFL, There should be a letter.
There should be a letter,
a press statement from the NPFL.
You don't just sanction. You don't just come out to write things like this. Come on. Honestly speaking, even to be candid, if you look at Europe also, you see clubs going through so much pressure when it comes to financial whatever.
But they don't come out. They don't do this.
No. They don't come out like this. They have where they sit down with the board meeting and see who can rescue them out of situations like this. At the end of the day, close down the club and all players shipped out already, and we are done with that. We can mention 6, 7, 8 clubs. Lyon, they were really close, to being on relegation because of financial bankruptcy and all and things like that. But at the end of the day, they were rescued because they did their own work properly. Going through board meeting people, not coming out asking. You see, so now at the end of the day, very soon now we're going to see them open accounts to say, okay, GoFundMe. Let's run GoFundMe for players.
See, when teams find themselves in this kind of situation in the Senna climb, there are things they do. And then that includes you selling a certain percentage of the team to someone that has enough money to help you survive the storm. But you don't just come and you still want to remain the owner. If you cannot run the team, sell it to a person that can successfully run the team. There are people out there who would love to buy Kun Khalifat at this time, especially when they are promoted to the NPFL. So why would you come out and make yourself a burden to people
honestly speaking,
who do not care about sports?
That, you can even speak to Nigerian players still playing well.
Yes.
Find a way to
buy a percent. Oh, I'm selling 30% stake in my team. I'm selling 40% stake in my team, and become joint owners. You still remain the owner of the team because you have the highest percentage of stake in the team.
It just marked the one, and we are getting this. Yesterday we saw a table during the press conference that we are getting another. It's really, really sad.
I just hope that we are able to turn this around and it turns to strength for the team. But even if the players are reading this now, it will dampen their morale. This is not a morale booster for the players. This most likely will put them in a situation where they will know. Some players will be thinking, haven't I signed for the wrong team this way? I mean, it will keep popping up in their mind like, what exactly am I doing here? Some players left, teams that were stable to come to Kun Khalifat thinking, oh, this is a new team, just like we had FC Ifeanyi Ubah at the time that was doing so well before, the team went, into oblivion. But obviously, this is not in fact, the management should know that this is not good news to the players in the team, not good news to the coach, and of course, not good news to the fans.
Amazing. All right, that's the story coming from Kun Khalifat, and we hope that they can resolve that issue going forward in the NPFL. Also, we hope that measures are being taken place going forward for teams who are struggling, and if you're struggling, just find a way around it to see how you can survive in the NPFL. Moving away from that, let's take stories more coming through from the champions, the La Decima champions. I'm talking of the Super Falcons of Nigeria. They are preparing for the qualification. The Super Falcons was prepared early for Benin Clash. That's coming from Coach Madugu. The Super Falcons head coach Justin Madugu has called for early preparation before the Team 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations qualifier against Benin Republic. Recall that the reigning African champions will visit Benin for the first leg on the 20th of October before the reverse fixture on the 28th of October. Speaking, Madugu stated that the players must commence early planning in order to prepare properly for the game. And I quote, "We have achieved what we have achieved. It has brought so much attention on the team, which has also made our job even more difficult. With the opposition and everybody," Madugu said the qualifiers for the next edition, we have a game already in October at which we have to start planning for, and we equally must try as much as possible to spread a check more players. And he said, we hope between now and October we must have 1 or 2 camps and see how far we can go with the new players, and opportunity to also showcase what we can also do with the new players. For you, preparations ahead of 2026 already starting up. We have a game in October for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Madugu is speaking and saying, this will also give more opportunity for new players, to come into the system.
Interestingly, for the first time in a long time, a Nigerian team is starting early. Oftentimes we wait until it's almost here. The game is still in October, and then we are already seeing who gets in the team. Continuously, the coach already has a provisional list, and continuously we'll revise and see who gets shipped out and who comes in, or who's the new player, coolest kid on the block that can actually come on board and then make a change. It's an interesting one. Maybe this is happening because Coach Justin Madugu knows that he's under immense pressure to actually deliver. The best time to deliver is when you have just delivered, because you can't afford to go lower than what people expect from you, or what a standard you have set for yourself. So it's interesting that he's already putting all necessary things in place to make sure that they have an interesting outing out there. But then I just want to implore him that this is not the time to make too many changes to the team. He has a winning squad as he speak. Maybe he can actually make some changes to the players that are not too, probably those ones that did not see game time during the WAFCON. He might say, probably this is why you did not play. Maybe there's a player better than this, and then make some changes. But the winning team, he should stick with the winning team, and then that will help him a lot, because that's the synergy they have built as a team, the sisterly love in the team. It should not be broken. It should not be broken. There's no reasonable winning coach out there changes the winning team.
True that. All right, let's take more stories from the local front, and this is coming through from the 9th edition of the National Youth Games. 6,382 athletes to compete for honors at the 9th National Youth Game. The stage is set for the 9th edition of the National Youth Game, with an impressive turnout of athletes and officials confirmed to participate. Following the conclusion of the Digital Registration Management (DRM) process of a total of 6,382 individuals representing 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory are expected to converge in Asaba for the games scheduled to be opened on the 29th of August through the 6th of September 2025. The finalized entries so far include 4,961 athletes, 635 coaches, 386 team officials, and 400 state delegates. This figure highlights the growing scale and importance of the game, which continue to serve as a platform for nurturing young sporting talent and fostering unity across Nigeria. Gombe is yet to complete the DRM procedures for that one. 74 participants so far, and they're expecting more from Gombe. No fewer than 37 sporting activities will be in this year's game, ensuring a wide display of skills and competition teamwork across multiple disciplines. Defending champion Team Delta will be aiming to retain their crown, but will face strong competition from rival competition determined to claim this year honors. For you, Samson, every time on the show we talk about grassroots development, for young athletes like this, and this is another opportunity to see how far we can develop these ones. But my question is, we see them, how do we nurture them, and how do we make them superstars going forward?
You see, the challenge now lies with state sports federations. It's one thing to discover talents, it's another thing to be able to maintain those talents. At least we have so many competitions across Nigeria that actually helps in scouting for new talents. We have the National Youth Games, we have National University Games, National Polytechnic Games, the Nepoga, we had the National Sports Festival, and a whole lot of games like that where new talents are discovered. Even some private companies sometimes host marathons, relay races, and the likes. And then from there, you can actually discover talents. But one thing that actually scares me is the fact that year on year, we discover new athletes, and then they soon fade into oblivion. What exactly is the problem? It is because the states are not maintaining. As a state, maybe it is time for us to now have our private sport agencies in the country. I don't think we have enough of that. abroad, you know, in Sena climbs, you see private sports agencies where athletes are, you know, gathered, they are being trained, they are being given stipends, and they are registered for competitions. And when you win, a certain percentage goes to you, a certain percentage goes to the company. And then when you have sponsors, your image rights is split into a certain percentage where you get some. It's a win-win situation. It's a symbiotic relationship that happens over there. But we do not have enough of that here. Sometimes you see players going to football in Nigeria, for example. You see players going to football teams themselves to say, look, I know how to play. They don't even have agents. You see basketballers who don't even have agents, and then they are the ones lobbying themselves to see. This is the job of an agent, sport agencies. This is what they do. But I think because the sport in Nigeria is not lucrative, or if it is lucrative, some people are not saying the business part, or they think if they spend so much, they might get so little. Some of them have withdrawn, and we see Nigerians out there who are actually, I know of a person who lives in Benin Republic. He's a big football agent in Benin Republic. Has about 75 or 80 players under his wing in Benin Republic. Now imagine if he's in Nigeria. You see how much he can do to help the people. He has taken these players across Africa, taking them to Benin Republic and some other places across Africa, you know, planting them there. Oh, I have a player. That is what they do. But we don't have enough of that here. Players are being the ones doing that on their own. And that is not far-fetched, because how much are these players even earning that an agency will say, oh, we are taking 10% or 5% of what you earn on a weekly basis? So these are the challenge. And I feel like the state government should really invest more in what we retainership. When you discover an athlete, you don't just let them go. Create an environment where they train week in, week out, and when there's a competition, they are in the right shape, in the right frame of mind to compete. But you see them doing fire brigade approach. Honestly, we discovered Latifat last year. Oh, there's a competition this year. Call her, let her come. Latifat has not been trained
for the last 6 months. I'm sure most of these athletes here will just start training
weeks to the and over there you realize the fact that they train round the year. They train round the clock because they want to be in the in top shape when the competition comes. Look at Tobiloba Amuson. When you go and check her on social media, you realize the fact that there's never been a time she doesn't train. That is why you see her in top shape whenever she comes to represent, and that should be the case. But even if they are training, you realize that they don't even have the facility to do, the right training. They're just doing it. And when they see their colleagues out there, and they become dwarfed by what they are seeing. So they don't really understand what you see. Nigerian athletes who don't even understand how to use certain facilities that relate with the kind of sports they do. These are the things the state government should do. We have several facilities. The Olubadan Township Stadium is right here. We have the Adama Singla Stadium over there. We have the Liberty Stadium. Day in, day out, when you get there, you see people training. But do they have what it takes to represent the state or to represent their local governments when the competition comes? I don't think so, because they do not have the right. See, if they are being paid stipends, let's say, for example, you are on 30,000 naira every month. Just be in the right shape, be in the right frame of mind for the next competition. You are on 50,000. These monies do not cost much, but the state government will not do it because there are so many people. There is too much bureaucracy, in between. Even if 50,000 is marked, you realize the fact that it gets to someone that gets to someone, and by the time it gets to the player, they are earning 10,000. So the money would have been slim fitted before it gets to whoever is to be given. So all these bureaucracies should be removed, and then let's see how our sports develop from there.
All right, come on. Samson Balogun will give you top-notch analysis day in, day out, without blinking. But our time is fast spent. But before I go, let's look at the result, from the US Open quickly. As we can move quickly, we can have the result of the US Open right there. You see massive, the US Open. Yeah, thank you. All right, that's the round 3. Emma Navarro is going to be in action. Moving on, you see more result, coming through right there. Yes, there we have it. Medvedev against Bonzi. Medvedev is out. Bonzi, taking that one. Remember, he knocked out Medvedev, and also right now, Bonzi is also through to round 3. He knocked out Giron right there. More and more right there. Also, Taylor Fritz had to struggle for that one. He lost the first set, second set 7-6, 6-2, 6-5. It's true, to the next round. But there's a story, this morning. Kasparov also, having to struggle from that one. Kasparov is out of the US Open also. But there's a story this morning coming through that Jack Draper is out of the US Open due to an injury. That's the update. That's how far we can go this morning. Jack Draper withdraw from the US Open due to an injury. The British man, number 1, posted on his X to announce this decision to withdraw from the New York-based Grand Slam due to discomfort in his arm. That's the update we are getting from Jack Draper this wonderful morning. That's all we can take on the show this morning on Dominion Sports. Samson, a big thank you to you.
Yeah, it's good to be here to talk sports once again.
All right, that's all we can take this wonderful morning. We're going to say a wonderful goodbye to you. Please make sure you join us again tomorrow. This is where we talk the fixtures are coming thick and faster for the weekend in the Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, the French League 1, the Serie A, and the German Bundesliga, and other transfer updates are popping on your screen. See you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.